Hello. All right. So we have about 60 some people that registered for this, which means six people will come, will come live. That's usually how it goes, and that's all good. I'd love to know where everybody is from. Will you guys just like type it in the chat where you're from, what your type, profile, whatever you want to share. Ooh, Greece. 5-1, Sacral Manifesting Generator. Nice. The UK, 4-6. Is that Connecticut? Sacral, 6-2. Nice. Ooh, a 1-4. Awesome. 4-6, 2-4-6. I love to see like the patterns that end up coming alive in these classes because I feel like we always get put into the correct classes with the correct people. And it's like everybody has a line 4, everybody has a line 6, and the patterns are just awesome. So we do have lots of 6s and 4s. Oh, yay. Awesome. Okay. So as a manifesting generator, I am also a stickler for time. I hate not starting on time and I hate not ending on time. Make it as efficient as possible. So we're going to get started. Oh, New Jersey. Hi, you're right near me. Marissa, how's this weather treating you? Because I'm just like dying to have someone to complain to about it.
The struggle is real. Every day I wake up and I'm like, I have energy, but like my nose and throat feel like death and the mood swings from like when
Yes.
it's gross out and I'm like, when it's nice and sunny, it's like, yay.
Right. It's like you come alive. Yep. I know.
100%. Like two
Terrible.
different people in one day, like the moods and the feeling.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yes. I've been taking a lot of vitamin D and that helps for sure.
Look, I walk my dog 3 times a day. So I get
Okay.
outside and I'm like, this is my vitamin D for
Yeah.
sure. But
That's
yeah,
good.
gotta
It
get the good
works.
playlist going and to keep the mood up.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We have like our summer has not started yet. We're still waiting here in northeast of the country.
Hopefully. I washed my winter jacket. So I'm hoping that because I did that once already where I
Yeah.
washed it and put it in the closet, like not just on the coat rack, and then I had to bring it back out. So I'm hoping that we're done now.
I actually did the same thing. So that's funny. All right, cool. So we have 14 people. That's awesome. That's great. Thank you all for coming. I'm super excited for this. I'm excited to share some insights and then do a little case study. Those of you who have done classes with me, I love to do celebrity case studies because they're just so fun and everybody knows them. And today we're doing, I'm not going to tell, I'm not going to say it. I don't think I've done this person yet. I've done almost all of them, but not this one. Okay, so let me share my screen. Sorry, I'm just trying to. There we go. Okay. Hi. Welcome to Building a Business by Design. My name is Donna. Actually, that's on the next screen. Hi, my name is Donna, and I'm a 1-3 manifesting generator. I have literally done it all in classic 1-3 man gen fashion. I have been a life coach, a health coach, and a lot of these are certifications. I know a lot of you can relate to this, getting all the certifications. Life coach, health coach, I did Akashic record readings, I did tarot readings, and I didn't just like dabble, right? My line one has to find that foundation, that security. Like I dove in deep. All of these became like side hustles, or I struggle to even say side hustle because I feel like that kind of takes away from the legitimacy of it because it was all very, very legit. I created my own spiritual products like sprays and sage bundles, sold them in local stores. I go all out. I created my own Oracle deck. I've written books and workbooks. I've taught, I've been a shadow coach. And most recently, human design shadow has been my baby, which is probably how most of you have found me, either that or through Phoebe, because I did some teaching in Phoebe Kuhn's programs. And as as I continue to evolve and continue to grow and learn new things, I realized that the coaching aspect of my business was really not fulfilling me. In fact, it was starting to slowly kill me, if I may be dramatic. Um, and this is something that I've played around with a lot. Like some of my old assistant can probably attest to this. Like we talked about this a lot where I felt like coaching just, you're like, I can do it. I'm really good at it. I really help people. And that kind of gives you the energy that you need. But as soon as you step away from it a little bit, you're like, oh man, like this is draining. When I was doing Akashic record readings and coachings, I could do one a day. And then I started doing like one a week because it was just so much. And it's the same with doing human design shadow coaching. It was just so much for my system. So what I learned to do is listen to my body and say, okay, something here is not working. Something here is not right. Like, why is my body physically rejecting coaching? Coaching as like a big offer, right? Like having a client for 6 months or having an entire group for 6 months, coaching them every single day. And so I dove a little bit deeper into my profile. And that's part of this, what I'm going to talk about today, too, how my profile kind of just gave me permission to do what I already knew that I wanted to do, who I already knew that I was. And I think that's what human design is for most of us. It gives us permission to be who we already know ourselves to be. And one of those things is our sensitivities, right? We all have, if you're here, you're a feeler, you're a healer, you're a spiritual entrepreneur, you have these sensitivities, but oftentimes we use them for our business. Like, let me create an offer as an empath, as a healer, right? Like, oh my God, I didn't even put this on here. Like I used to do energetic clearings, also certified in that. And that's me using my gifts. And everybody said I was great at it. But the way that I had my business set up was not conducive to my energy. It didn't work. So I'm going to show you how to work with your energy as well. And I know I'm getting ahead of myself in my slides because that's what I do. Okay, so here's what we're going to cover today: your true role in business, the gifts that you're meant to monetize, and the way you're meant to structure your offers and operate in your business, and then how it all leads to making passive income in your sleep, because that's what we want. But also, as sensitive entrepreneurs and healers and feelers and all of those open centers that a lot of us have, and also just being human, like you want some space, you want some like me time, you just want to like maybe rot on the couch for a day, and we want to be okay with that and let that be part of business, let that be part of life, and not something that you need to feel guilty or shame around or feel like, well, I can't because I have to make money today, so let me throw all of these offers against the wall and see what sticks. We don't want that. We want to honor our energy. We want to follow our energy through creating a business in alignment. And I promise you that it works. So yay to that. Okay, yes, Vicky says she doesn't want to coach anymore. Well, guess what, Vicky? You don't fucking have to. Okay, we're putting an end to that. You can do whatever you want. First of all, hang out with me long enough and I will definitely brainwash you to feel like to know that you can do whatever the hell you want in business. But I can also guarantee you that if you don't want to coach, there is something else in your chart that is much more aligned for you. Okay, so here's the problem that so many of us face as sensitive entrepreneurs that feel stuck or just like misaligned or just icky or just fatigued, whatever it is. I promise you that it's all related. We try to follow these proven strategies that often feel gross and exhausting. This is like the bro marketing. This is like setting up a funnel with 15 emails. I don't know how many of you were here last year. It might have already been 2 years ago when I first created the shadow report. So I had the free shadow chart, and then I had the paid shadow report. And I had hired someone to help me create a funnel for it because that's what you're supposed to do. And I literally had this like huge piece of paper, took up an entire table, like long table, trying to map out these funnels. And like it was insane. I wrote so many funnel emails. And in the back of my head, there was always this voice that was like, this is so fucking dumb. Like, nobody is going to read all of these emails. And I think I ended up turning them all off maybe like 2 months later after I had gotten over, but I put all this work into it. And I think that's part of the sabotage here is that we try to follow other people's strategies that have nothing to do with our energy, and we do all of this work so we feel like we have to stick in it, we have to stay with it. This is especially true for a lot of generators, because generators, the way their energy works is that they build momentum. So the momentum keeps them going, going, going. All of a sudden they're going 90 miles an hour. I don't know what that is in kilometers. I think half. And half, no, double. I don't know, whatever. And then for them to slam on the brake and pivot is really physically, emotionally straining. So a lot of generators say yes to things thinking it's the right thing, and then they have a really hard time pivoting because of the momentum that they pick up, whether it's aligned or not. Okay, just aside, go off on tangents. We've taken programs that give us too many vague templates, not alignment. This was one of my first huge issues with human design, why I created Human Design Shadow, because everything everybody was saying was exactly the same. And I was like, something is missing. Like, we can't just all be regurgitating the same basic bitch human design information. There's got to be something new. We have to evolve it. And that's how Human Design Shadow, the shadow training came to be. We keep pivoting, second guessing, or ghosting your own offers. Okay, this is probably one of the things that makes me the saddest to see my clients do. Or, just friends that I have online, they post an offer and I'm like, oh my God, this offer is so good. I'm so excited for you. This is amazing. And then they ghost it. And then they just stop posting about it, and they expect people to just know, or people to just come to their website, or people to just look at their profile and just click the link. Nobody is going to do that. I mean, I hate to put that in your mind. Like, I want you to feel like people will do that, and people will do that if that's the environment that you create for yourself. But I'm telling you that it's more likely to happen if you continue to post about your offers. We need to see them. That's just reality. Reality, practically, logically, whateverly, is that we need to see your offer at least 7 or 8 times. That's proven by psychology. And then manifestation, even the Kabbalistic manifestation, says the same thing. Put all of your energy behind it if you want the universe to support you in that. So that means posting your offers over and over again. When you start to get tired of it, that's when you know you're doing it right. Point is, you're not broken. You're likely just building a business that is against your design. If you've tried all the things and it's still not working and you still feel like I should be successful by now, I've done everything everyone told me to do. So we're going to do it different. We're going to try it your way. We're going to try it in the way that you know in the back of your head you want to do it, but no one has ever given you permission to do it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to give you permission. You don't need me to give you permission, by the way. You can give it to yourself, but it helps. Um, yes. So Debbie was in my shadow training. Yeah, and I love that you made that shift. And that was so powerful for you. And you saw immediate results. Like I think people immediately, pretty quickly signed up for your programs as soon as you made the shift in your business. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so here are the basics that we're going to talk about today because I could talk about this for hours and hours. And I do. Okay, anyway, your profile. Your profile is going to be your role in life and in business. Your quadfecta, which is those of you that don't know, the quadfecta is my own method that I created that I am working on getting trademarked. Um, it's similar to the incarnation cross, but I feel like it is more powerful in terms of business, also in terms of your purpose in life. I think I've probably taught at this point hundreds of clients of people to use the quadfecta, and most people would agree that this is very powerful information. So the quadfecta is going to tell you which of your gifts you should monetize. I have should in quotes because I am not your authority. Human design is not your authority. If there's something else that works for you, please do that. I will never, ever, ever tell you there's only one way to do things. If there's anything my line 3 has learned through life, it's that there are a gazillion ways to do things. But this is what I have found works for me and what I have found works for, at this point, hundreds of other people. And then we're going to use our circuitry to show how to build your business, the cadence, the timing, the rhythm, the ways of structuring your offers. People don't talk about circuitry enough. Like, honestly, I don't follow any human design people anymore. But when I did follow human design people, I feel like not many people talked about circuitry. And it's so important. Like, circuitry probably gave me the most permission in my life to one, be sensitive and that be okay, but also just to take time and space away from people and things and work and just be alone. Like, it really taught me so much about my energy being highly individual, but we'll talk about that. And then obviously how it all leads to making passive income in your sleep, because there's nothing better than waking up and having money on your phone or in your bank too, but just seeing the notifications. Okay, profile. Your profile is your personality role in the world. So I created Not a Coach, Not a Fraud because people, me included, were trying to monetize roles that were not correct. And you will know when you are trying to monetize a role that is not correct because you will feel it in your body. Remember, if you're here, you are a sensitive healer, feeler, spiritual gifted person, right? And your body is likely already telling you if something is not correct. So I did a reel today about like your body hates your business. That's why you're exhausted. And somebody commented like, this is me, because we've all been there. We've all tried to monetize something that is just not aligned with who we are. But I think we get stuck in that energy of, but I put all the work into it, or I will look like a failure, or a big one. What will other people think? Or my personal favorite is if I start over, like just the thought of starting over is exhausting because you've created an entire business out of, I guess I don't want to say an entire business out of alignment, but you are out of alignment. So you're at a point where you're so exhausted and burned out that the thought of starting over and doing it all over again because you're thinking I'm going to be doing it the same way sounds exhausting. It sounds terrible. Like, I'd rather jump off out of this window that is on ground level, but you get the point. Um, and that's what we want to tell our brain, right? That's what we want to recondition, is that if we start over, if we pivot, we're not doing it the same way. We're doing it different. And if it fails, first of all, failure just means like the end of the road. Like, failure is like death, I think. You just keep going and going and going. But if there's mistakes and if things don't work out, then we pivot. We continuously pivot. It's not something that's like, I didn't make $100 in my first day. It's over. I'm done. right? No, we just keep going. We just keep pivoting. We just keep becoming more of ourselves and embodying that in our business. And that's one of my favorite Kabbalistic teachings is that the purpose of life is not to fix ourselves, it's to become more of ourselves, more of who we are authentically. So that's why I created Not a Coach, Not a Fraud, if you've seen that, to help you find your correct role. And also to make sure that you're not monetizing the correct role, but from the shadow perspective. So there's lots of shadows that are also involved. Okay, so let's map this out. We have the line one, that's the specialist, the researcher, the investigator. Line two, the natural. Three, the experimenter. Four, the connector. Five, the problem solver. Six, the sage. Now, we funnel that into the 12 profiles, and feel free to take a screenshot of this if you want. But I think the next screen you're going to like even more, because this is going to give you some of the exact roles, not all, but some of the exact roles that are associated with each profile line. Now, my line one went into some research when I did this. What I did was I looked up human design, the human design regular profiles, and then I used BG5, which is human design's business arm, sister, I don't know, whatever you would call it. And then I also looked at psychology. I looked at like the self-development industry, because most of us are in the self-development industry. And what are the current modern roles in this industry that could be associated with these profiles? And this is what I came up with. Of course, this is not a full list, right? If you feel like you are a coach and your profile says you're not a coach, like, do what works for you. Okay. So that is the profile. Figuring out your correct profile and your correct role is everything, because it's sort of like the top of the funnel. Well, if I know that I'm a teacher, if I know that I'm a content creator, that I'm a creative, then I don't need to spend hours and hours and hours trying to come up with coaching material or trying to come up with different ways to coach people through different offers, right? Because I'm not a coach. I can coach, like I can do it, but just because you can do it doesn't mean you should, right? This is like what my therapist has drilled into me about men. Just because you can save them doesn't mean you should. You are not the Red Cross. So I'm going to say that to you too. And this goes for the projectors, the line fives, even the generators who can do all the things. Just because you can doesn't mean that you should. It doesn't mean that it's your correct role. So think about me saving men out there when you're in the wrong role. We don't want to do it. We don't want to do it. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. You guys know that. Okay. Discovering your purpose and monetizing your gift. So, in terms of offers, a lot of people pick what they like or what's trending or even what has worked for them. And I've seen a lot of generators and manifesting generators do this because they are like, well, I'm just going to respond. So, they will scroll Instagram and be like, oh my God, this person is creating this offer. I'm also going to do it. It was a sacral yes. Was it a sacral yes? Or was it that you saw somebody else be successful and you were like, oh, well, I'm going to be successful doing that? So that is convoluted because we want to be careful we're using our strategy and authority. Although I'll be honest, that's a whole other thing. And also we want to be careful that we're not doing this out of shadows, right? So when we see somebody else that's really successful with one offer, we feel that safety and security. So we think we're going to have that safety and security that we feel from them if we do the same thing. But it's not always going to work that way. So I like to point you in the direction of your energy and your definition, which is your consistent strength, your consistent gifts. So my quadfactor method is going to show you what people already feel for you from you, what they're going to pay you for, what your natural gifts are. So this is the quadfactor. Obviously, I'm going to give you a nuance to this. And the nuance is that we want to be in the highest vibration, highest form of energy of our definition. So a lot of people think that if you're in this, you probably don't think this because you've heard me say it 1,000 times, but a lot of people don't know that you can be in the shadow frequency of your gate of your definition. So we know that we need to decondition our openness, but we also need to do the shadow work on our definition, because our definition is usually, especially in these four gates, places where we have learned that the way we are naturally is not good enough. So we've created a shadow around that. We've created some sort of sabotage pattern. We've created some sort of different story that we tell ourselves about why I can't lean into this. I had a whole story around my gate 14 of why I can't teach money, why I can't teach business, why I can't talk about it, why money's bad, why money is blah, 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 blah. We all have money stories, but I had a whole story around that wasn't true. I had a whole story about why I'm not creative, because I'm to this or I'm to that, or I don't do this, or I don't draw. If I don't draw, how can I be creative? Like, girl, come on. So we want to make sure that we're doing the shadow work on these so that we are in their highest expression at the moment. I think the levels of expression that we embody of our gates change, and I would even, this is a whole other class, but I would argue that for the women in here, that they change with our cycle. But that's a whole other thing. Okay, so back to the quadfecta. It includes your conscious sun gate, which is 70% of who we are. It's the light that shines out into the world. It's what we naturally move towards in life. This is going to be your core identity and frequency. And then we have the unconscious Mars. The unconscious Mars, one of my favorites. This is our core wound. This is generational trauma. This is also our greatest gifts, because once we can crack the trauma, the core wound that's underneath it, we can begin to embody our greatest gifts. If you're familiar with the gene keys, this is the core wound gene key. This is the core wound that turns into your is it your vocation, or is that up top? Your vocation, right? Yes. Okay. And then we have your conscious Pluto, which is going to be your truth and transformation. And then your unconscious Pluto, which is same truth and transformation, but also it can show you your messaging. Both of these Plutos can actually show you your messaging, and we can talk about that a little bit later. But essentially, this is your transformation. This is what you've been through. This is where the arc, if you will, your arc of transformation in your life. This is what people come to you for. This is what people know you for. This is where you find yourself digging into over and over and over again, because there's something here. Now, there's caveats, because if any of these gates are in undefined centers, that's going to change the energy a little bit. Like if your Mars is in an undefined center, that's going to give you like this sense of urgency. If your Plutos are in undefined centers, you're going to find that stepping into this transformation is going to create a lot of fear. There's going to be lots of fears that come up associated with these gates. So just some things to keep in your mind. Okay. Oh, Chanel, I hope I answered that for you. So both conscious and unconscious Plutos are the same. So what I tell people is when I see the same gate in prominent places like your Plutos, that's like God, the universe, the creator, whatever you want to talk, your spirit guides going, listen, listen, this is important. Are you listening? Follow this through. Like, this is going to be a very prominent theme in your life. Pluto's and Mars are all 50. Okay, we're going to talk about gate 50 today, because it's my celebrity. conscious sun, if your conscious sun is an undefined center, you might feel like you're disconnected from your, I hate to like put this out there, but like disconnected from your identity a little bit. I would say it's a little similar to having an undefined G center where you're like, you feel it, but you're not always tapped into it. And that's okay, right? Like we all have the way our chart is perfect. What it's, yes, you need, I hate to say like you need people, but you need to be in connection with people to really feel your purpose. It's like a lot of people say that your purpose, a lot of people feel like their purpose is love, right? It is raising children. It is having a loving relationship. And they find that when they are in love, when they have a great relationship, they can be more themselves. They can be more of service to the world, right? So it's similar to that when your sun is in an undefined center. You just kind of feel like a little bit disconnected, but it's not, I don't want anyone to feel disempowered by that. That's why I'm trying to like choose my words wisely. Yes. Okay. Good, Chanel. Yeah, you guys got it. Okay, everybody with their 50s. Okay, so I'll tell you my trick. So I've had so many clients ask me like, how do you remember all of the gates? Truth is, I do not. I do not remember all of the gates and what they mean. Like sometimes I look it up and I don't think that's a big deal at all. I have my own, like if you've been in HDSC, the human design shadow training, I give you like all of the gates and my definitions of them, including the shadows. So I always have that pulled up, and I just reference it. Like it's not that big of a deal. But another way that I teach my clients to remember the gates is celebrities. So we do a lot of like celebrity research. I just think celebrities are so interesting, like the way their charts work. Anyway, and a lot of the gates I know from like celebrities, like Chloe has the 55, I believe. The 50 is one of the princes. What is it, Prince Harry, the one that moved from the UK to America? I don't follow princes, but so I always remember that the 50 is you have to follow your own values. You have to do your own thing. It's about being ethical and moral and following your values and taking responsibility for who you really are, no matter what, even if that means moving your entire family across the river, the sea, if you will, and starting a brand new life because that aligns more with your values, with who you are. So just a little tip there. Prince Harry, thank you. Okay, let's move on to circuitry. So, circuitry is the how of your business, how you create, how you lead, how you relate to others, how fast or slow your energy wants to move, the type of offers that resonate with your natural creative genius and your rhythm. Nothing is going to burn you out faster than aligning yourself with the wrong circuitry. This is why some people are amazing at building community memberships or having a roster full of one-on-ones, and others need to be behind the scenes creating innovative frameworks or text coaching. I personally love text coaching. Like if you're not coaching, just like text support, if you will. Like if you're in the Designed for Wealth community on Telegram, like I love that. I live for that group. Like I will send you voice memos all day bullshitting about whatever or helping you build your offers. That just works for me. So this gets a little bit, I think people get a little bit confused here because sometimes they feel like, well, am I just scared to be seen? Or am I just not meant to be out there all the time? And the answer is that it has to be a balance because if you're going to be an entrepreneur and you're going to have your own business and you're going to create your own offers, you're going to have to put marketing out there. And if that for you is being seen, then yes, we need to work through the fear of being seen. But if you're okay putting things out there, but you just like working behind the scenes, like I prefer to create things. Like I literally created 15 workbooks yesterday just on different things. Like that's where I thrive. But it's a balance because I still love doing these classes and I still put my stuff out on Instagram. So you do have to balance it. Okay, let me check this real quick. So the Design for Wealth community is with Simply Passive. Like if you purchase Simply Passive, the Design for Wealth community is free with that for a limited time. It's probably going to be a monthly charge starting next month. So if you're in that, there is a link in your portal. Okay, let's talk circuitry. Ta-da! And there's a lot of information on circuitry in the Simply Passive portal. Okay. So we have integration channels. This is technically not a circuitry, but it is raw included it in circuitry as well. And then because it's all part of the individual circuit. And then we have individual, we have collective, and we have tribal. So these words up here are going to be your themes. So integration is self-empowerment. Like, I don't want to say these people don't give a shit about anyone but themselves, but they don't give a shit about anyone. It's survival. Unless you have the 28-38, and then that turns it a little bit more empowering the other rather than just empowering me. And then we have the individual with the knowing and the centering circuits. And this is empowerment. This is mutation. This is, I'm going to empower you. I'm going to inspire you. And then we have collective. The collective shares. The collective either shares their stories, their art, or they share logical insights. They share their methods, their frameworks for a better future. And then we have tribal, which is the defense and the ego circuit. And that's going to be about support. That's going to be also money, but managing money. So supporting you in that, and then also supporting you in like nourishment. So individual is going to be innovative. This is branding. This is creativity. This is pulsing. This is people that need more time and space. Collective is educational content, systems, courses, teaching the masses. And tribal is going to be offers based on loyalty, support, values, sustainability. This is like the people that love to meet one-on-one in person, tend to have a lot of tribal energy. It's like, oh, I just want to see you. I just want to feel you. I want to feel connected to you. Very tribal. I don't need to feel you. Like I feel you with my open solar plexus, but I don't need to feel you. Okay. Okay, so that is our circuitry. Obviously, it gets a little bit more detailed, and I'm going to show you when I get into our celebrity case. Let me just check the chat real quick. Okay, great question. Okay, do we have to look at our full channels or also our gates? So there are two different schools of thought on this. A lot of people say that it is only your channels. Some people say it is your gates and your channels. My personal take on it is that it's your gates and your channels, because my gates, even if they're not connected to two centers, are still my energy. Like this is still energy that I have, even if it's in an undefined center. This is still my energy coursing through my body. So whether it's a channel or not, I still possess it. So I do use channels and gates. I use genetic matrices, circuitry, and I'll show you that in a second. If you don't, you do need the Pro, the Genetic Matrix Pro. If you don't have that, people do send me their birth info, and I can send you the little square the Genetic Matrix creates. I don't mind doing that. I think it's so easy, and for you to have that information, I think it's really great and powerful. Okay, so let's integrate all this. When you know your role, your monetizable gifts, and your natural business cadence, everything changes. So your offers magnetize instead of push. Your energy sustains you instead of drains you. Like I'm a highly individual. I cannot be at my desk. Even if I'm creating, I cannot be at my desk all day long. Like I need to be out and about. I need to be releasing energy. Also, my creativity pulses, right? Like remember when I said some of it is cyclical, like maybe with our menstrual cycle, maybe not, I don't know. The individual energy is a pulse. And when it's on and you feel creative and you feel good, talking follicular ovulation, you know. But when it's off, a lot of people will call that depression and melancholy, and they just stay in it because they don't realize that it's just a pulse. It means nothing about you. It's just like turning the light switch on and off. Like it just is. It's not, it doesn't have to be emotional. It doesn't have to have meaning to it. It just is. And it's going to pass. So knowing that, I don't want to be on calls when I know my energy is off because that's not beneficial to you. And that's definitely not beneficial to me. That's me reinforcing in my body. I don't trust you, body. I trust the mind, and I'm going to do what my mind tells me to do. So my body remembers that, right? And then we have those nervous system crashes because your body does not feel safe because you keep going against it. So I purposely schedule my classes and my calls when I know that probably my energy is going to be up. Again, menstrual cycle tracking, but also taking care of myself so that the pulse is, I don't want to say more regular, but I can predict it a little bit better. Okay. And then creating a business that actually feels like you. Like, why not make it easy? Like, we weren't meant to push, right? We weren't meant to make things hard. Let's make it easy. Let's put it all together and talk about Katy Perry. Now, Debbie, you're going to love this. Actually, this is not a serial killer, so you might not. But I picked Katy Perry because, well, one, I love the conspiracy theories that are surrounding Katy Perry. And I just thought to myself, like, what if Katy Perry at one point is like, you know what? I'm tired of being controlled by the Illuminati. Like, I am so tired of pretending that I went to space. Like, I'm tired of, dressing up in this way, doing all of these demonic, weird things just because it's what's going to make me famous. Like, I just want to be me. I just want to be authentic. So if she came to me, us, and was like, I want to create a digital product around like being authentically me, not being owned by the elite or whatever you want to call it. Here's how we would read her chart. Here's how we would play around with it. And I think this is really helpful in seeing like a very practical example of how it all fits in together. Okay. Yes, celeb charts are the best. HDSD has like tons of celeb charts. We do a celeb game. We should bring back the celebrity game for like the community. Be so fun. Okay, so let's talk about profile role. I do have some notes here. Okay, so she is a 1-3, like your girl. So the 1 is the researcher, the 3 is the experimenter. So we know that she studied music. She was deeply devoted to her faith, but also to understanding and mastering religion and religious music. I think she like started in the church, if I'm not mistaken. So this really gave her like a base and a structure for her life. As a line 1, that's what she needs. That's where she found her stability. Now, I don't know whether she still follows religion, but to me, it would look like she does not. So I wonder what that break was for her. But also as a 1-3, like that's so natural to just pivot and just be like, this doesn't work. Because the line 3 is the experimenter. They are the rebel. She did break that foundation. She also got dropped from multiple labels. She rebranded herself several times. Each time she learned what did work, what didn't work, and she evolved. Remember, like what the businesses that we pick or the offers that we pick, like they are meant to evolve. You are meant to evolve. You don't we don't just like stay the same all the time. So I also want you to kind of give yourself more permission to evolve, to change. Um, yeah, I don't think, oh, Russell Brand. Yeah. I thought you were asking if I did him. I was like, I don't think I did do him. But yeah, I think that had a lot to do with her evolving as well. So, bottom line, her role is her lived authority. So, the one line, her role in business is she's credible, trustworthy figure that a lot of people trust because she knows her shit, right? That's line one energy. It's why you all are here because you trust me and you trust that I know my shit. Thank you. I do. She earns respect through her depth and her preparation. Like, this is my prep, right? Like, I love slides. You will hardly ever catch me doing a class without slides. One, because my manifesting generator brain is like this, but two, because I love it and it helps me prepare and make sure that I have set a foundation that makes me feel safe and makes you feel safe too. And her three line, she's not going to be that polished guru. She's the woman who fell flat on her face, got back up, and now teaches people how to heal from scars. So Katy Perry's 1-3 profile makes her a master. She masters what's real and learns by breaking things. Her wisdom isn't theoretical, it is earned. And when she speaks, people listen because she's actually lived through it. So to sum it all up, she is a creative, she is a creator, she is a guide. Here we go. Perfect. The 1-3 profile known as the grounded genius that carries the role of building solid structures based on deep knowledge, testing. Like line 3s and 6s, I know it gets so hard to just like feel like you're failing all the time, like you're making mistakes, but I promise you always leads somewhere. You just can't stop. She's the embodied expert, teacher, guide, the creative, someone who doesn't just talk the talk, but walks the messy path first. Notice messy is in there. It's okay to be messy. People want to see messy too. Offers thrive when they're built on deep understanding and lived experience. If I try to create an offer that I have never put into practice myself, it's probably going to flop because how long can I fake it for? Okay, this is circuitry. So this is what genetic matrix spits out. Now, yes, we have 2 tribal up here, so you can add these up. This is going to be 17%. We have these 2 collective here that's sharing. This is going to be 30%. And then we have these 2 individual here, and that's going to be 40%. So she's going to be highly individual, but collective is not too far behind. So I'm going to talk about both. So individual energy. The energy is creative, moody, spontaneous, nonlinear. It's circuitry of mutation and originality. So is that line 3. This is something different, something new. The core traits are that you have to express uniqueness to impact others. Inspiration comes in pulses, not consistent or predictable, needs freedom to create without pressure or conformity. And impact happens when others feel your vibe. So in business, they need space to create based on their own timings and their own urges. Their products and performances must be aligned to their personal expression, not how other people want you to be, which is so interesting because I feel like in recent years, she has really conformed to what I say, like what other people want her to be, but like, I don't know that because I don't know her, but it feels a little bit like she's losing herself in the fame, in the crazy wild west of Hollywood. That's what it feels like to me. Obviously, I don't know. They don't thrive in rigid systems. They need to be kind of their own person. So your brand, if you're highly individual, is your energy. Your energy is your brand. So if you are not honoring your energy in every way, then you are not honoring your brand. People cannot feel your brand. It's going to feel inconsistent. As much as you're inconsistent with your energy, that's how people feel about your brand. Her best business strategy is going to be magnetism, not marketing. So think people don't just buy her music, they buy her frequency. And if I was going to get a little bit conspiratorial, if that's a word here, I would say that that's what the elite are banking on, that people buy her frequency. Oh man, I'm about to go deep. Um, and perhaps are even being affected by that frequency. Okay, we'll move on before I get too crazy. And then we have the collective here. So the collective energy is about sharing, teaching, storytelling, and making sense of life for others. It can be logical, planning and systems, or abstract, storytelling and art. So this is how you share. So in Simply Passive, there is where I talk about circuitry, I do give you every single collective gate and its burden to share, what it is here to share. And this is how you share your offers. This is how you share your energy. This is how you share yourself. So for her in business, while she's deeply individual, she can connect to the masses, but I do think she needs a little help here from the powers that be to make her more relatable. She's great at inspiring, entertaining, educating through metaphor and performances. Her music and visuals often tell bigger collective stories, like about empowerment, rebellion, love, identity. So she expresses her uniqueness in ways the collective can absorb and relate to, which is on brand for her, right? We feel her uniqueness in the way that she communicates, even in the way that she looks. Okay, so our circuitry conclusion here is that your circuitry tells you how you're meant to deliver your gifts. So Katy Perry's chart screams, I'm not for everyone, right? But if you feel me, I'll change your life. Now, whether that's a negative demonic frequency, change your life, or a positive frequency, change your life. I personally don't listen to her music anymore because it gives me the weird vibes, but interesting nonetheless. Her individual circuitry gives her that edgy, bold, what the fuck is she doing wearing, right? Like me not listening to her music anymore, but still presenting her right now shows that her individual energy is working. Cause I'm like, what the fuck is she doing? Girl, you did not go to space. Like, what is happening? Individual rebellion, that line 3, etc. Her collective circuitry helps her turn those personal moments into anthems for the world. So her lane is raw creation, performance, storytelling for a better future. Now, that is how her energy works. Now, based off of her being highly individual, but also needing to share, we know that her marketing needs to be strong. And we also know that she's going to need a lot of space to be authentically her, to just focus on her and her like creativity. Okay, let me check the chat real quick. I'm here for the conspiracies. All right, well, you've come to the right place. I did do a whole podcast on conspiracies. I'll have to find that. The class should be over by 1. That is my hope. Okay, so I'll go fast. Monetizing your gifts. So we have 28 in her sun. She's constantly reinventing herself to stay aligned with what feels true. She did struggle with fame, identity, love, depression, and she's used her platform to talk about that. Her songs often carry themes of empowerment from adversity, right? This is her magnetism. Her 43 is her radical intuitive insights. This is the freak to genius gates. Like, girl, that's a little weird. I can't believe you just did that. But also, when she is following her intuition, she is going to be successful no matter what. But people are going to think it's weird. You're a freak. Kind of like the I kissed a girl and I liked it before that kind of expression was mainstream. Very line 3 of her, leading the way into a new future. Constantly introducing new unconventional sounds, visuals, performances, weird shit, strong creative instincts that defy the industry normals. Like, again, if you have a 43, you're not meant to conform. Individual energy, you're not meant to conform. So if you're conforming, you're already I don't want to say doing it wrong, but you're doing it wrong. You're doing yourself a disservice. Her Mars is an undefined center, so this adds urgency to express these insights, which sometimes might come out as like blah, 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 blah. Monetizing her 28 Pluto. So Pluto gives this her lifelong transformational theme. Her evolution will always be tied to navigating life or death type intensities, publicly sharing her mental health struggles, spiritual crises, always evolving her identity musically, personally. She embodies transformation. She changes. Whether someone's influencing that or not, we see it. And then 50, a deep sense of moral responsibility. I do wonder what has happened to this. You can see it's in a line 4. So it is likely being affected by the crowd, by who she is with. We don't know that she's in the shadow aspect of this. We'll assume she's not, and she is morally responsible. But this is wanting to create a safe space, safe area to serve, to feel safe yourself, but also to serve others. So natural instinct is to create containers that protect and nurture, matching your own ethical and moral values. Again, like I have 50 in my Pluto also. My Telegram group is a safe space that I created because I didn't see it anywhere else. So she advocates for social issues. She uses her fame to support charitable work. She seeks to create platforms where others feel safe, seen, and empowered. I just wonder if she does herself. Okay, so now we create the quadfecta, and I walk you through this in Simply Passive. What each gate means, and then how do we create the products from this, offers. So her quadfecta says she's driven by deep personal meaning the 28. She's guided by intuitive breakthrough geniuses, her 43, and she's rooted in moral responsibility and service, or at least her offers should be, right? So her most aligned business is going to be soulful. It's going to be purpose work is going to be central, deep, helping others transmute struggle into wisdom. It's innovative. It's radical ideas that challenge the norm, and it's impact driven, creating a business that supports others ethically. So here's the offers that I would create for her. She can have a signature program if she wants. Which is going to be a step-by-step process guiding. Notice it says guiding, not coaching. And then she's got some low ticket offers that are based off of her quadfecta. And this is going to be her real juice because she is highly individual, she does need the space. And let's be honest, we all need space. We don't want to always be just like stuck on our computers or with our clients 24/7. So she needs that, the low ticket digital offers, even the mid-tier digital offers. So these are some things that I would recommend for her based on her quadfecta. Turning fear into fuel, clarity activation, breakthrough exercises, core values, mapping workbook. Like this is after she's figured out her own rhythm, her own transformation. She can create this to help others and be in alignment with her energy. Okay, now let's recap what we learned, what we unlocked. So we know that the profile reveals the true role in business. We know that the quadfecta is going to tell you exactly which gifts you're here to monetize. And we know how the circuitry is going to show us how we're designed to create, sell, and lead. You watched me talk about Katy Perry and kind of pull it all together, and I hope that makes sense. If there's any questions on that, I'm happy to answer them. But I think you can kind of see how all of our energy begins to create a beautiful little map, and the theme starts to become overwhelming of what someone's purpose is in this life. So I created Simply Passive because most people just stop here. Right where you're at right now, most people are like, okay, cool, this is great information. When we're done, you close your phone, your computer, whatever, and you walk away and you're done. You probably don't think about it again. But you will find that you are still in the same spot tomorrow unless you make a change. So I created Simply Passive to help you really align with your energy and create a business that is based off of your energy so that you don't have to compromise and sell your soul to make a buck, right? There is a way to be successful while honoring your energy. And it's literally my mission in life to prove that that's true. And I've done it for me, like I'm living it, but I want to help other people do that as well, because I think we all deserve to, and especially as women, moms, again, etc. So creating offers that fit your energy, monetizing the right gifts, and building a business that feels safe. Simply Passive is just going to, like, there's so many modules, there are so many workbooks, there are so many templates, there are hours and hours and hours of classes in there, not just on how to build your product, because they do show you how to build the exact products that you're meant to do from A to Z, but I also show you how to begin to structure your entire business so that it's aligned to your energy and therefore aligned with like the cosmos. So you create a vessel, as the Kabbalah says it, a vessel for the light to come into, a vessel for the money to flow into, because you're in alignment. When you're in alignment, you're not blocking all of these avenues of success, of money, of love, of peace, of chocolate, whatever you want. So currently, Simply Passive does have the community. I know someone asked about that. The Designed for Wealth community, which is on Telegram. There, I give you private podcast episodes. You can post your questions for me, and I will answer them. We talk to people. We talk about your offers. Sometimes I will drop in with just like a message or something that I'm currently doing in my business. We did. I created a workbook around upsells, downsells, order bumps, what the difference is. And we just chat with each other. I think there's like 30 people in there now. And I would love for you all to join. I'd love to make this big. So it is free in June. July 1st, I will probably start charging a monthly fee for that, but it is free with Simply Passive. So let me stop this share. So if anyone is interested in joining us in Simply Passive, if it's not in yet, I'm going to post the link. And we are 2 minutes over, but if anyone has any quick questions, as long as we're not going too deep into someone's chart, because that is definitely better done inside the Designed for Wealth community. But how's everyone feeling? Did this make sense? Do we feel inspired, empowered? Are we ready to create? Hi, Debbie.
I just want to say something before, because I have to go. But from when we were doing the work together in the shadow training, remember I was like feeling really depleted from the coaching. I had this like really massive coaching package, 4 months, like 6 coaching sessions, human design reading, soul plan, Akashic work, all that kind of stuff. And I just wasn't pulling in the aligned clients. And then you actually asked me, do you actually want to do this? And I was like, I really sat with that. And then came the program, like the rapid shadow transformation. And I mostly do voice coaching now. So it's a 3-month program. I have 2 readings, the human design reading, the shadow reading. And for the rest, we talk. And today I was at my parents' house, cleaning. That's why I look like this. And then I was in the car and I just listened to her message, and I can respond to that message, and I don't have to be all like, ready for a Zoom meeting, and I can just go about my day, whatever that may be, and still cater to my clients and have that freedom. And I just love it. And I love you, and you know that, and the community that you build. And anyway, that's what I had to say.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I think we let Instagram, society, Facebook, whatever you're on, kind of show us that if you want to make a lot of money, you have to be a coach. If you want to be big in this world, you have to do coaching. And it's not true. And it's not the only option out there. There's so much more that you can do. And I think that naturally begins to open based on your purpose, the more that you're living in alignment. Like, I hate to say alignment, but when you're honoring your energy. Some shadow work and deconditioning. We all do. We all have the shadow work and deconditioning work to do. Don't let that stop you, though. Don't let that be the excuse that stops you from putting one foot forward, from, putting yourself out there, from creating a product. I still have so much deconditioning work to do around, being the Red Cross for men, for one, but that doesn't mean it's going to stop me from dating or from putting out my life's work. So we're all healing together. We're all healing together. Okay. 5 minutes over, not bad. I'm so thankful that you guys were here. I'm so grateful that we could do this class. I hope to see you in the Design for Wealth community and answer all of your questions. I will send out the replay once it downloads, and I hope everyone has an amazing day. I love you. Bye.